Okay, y'all, we went through First Peter, we're going through Second Peter, and we find out that he tells us how he spared the ones that are righteous, and he keeps the ones that are sinful and perverse reserved for that day of judgment. Um, he tells us, he uses Noah and uses Lot as examples because it depicts it and uses it as examples in the Old Testament. And he's trying to bring that out so we can see in this life, we can't change the ones around us. You never will be able to change those next to you. Only thing you can do is inspire them by living an example devoted to God and holiness before them. Don't talk about them or slander them. Don't act like you hate them, or how can you be so disgusting? You know, we have a tendency to be judgmental. We're human, right? But if you look at it, how did Jesus act? I know this word right here is from God. I know that the word of God is from Jesus. I know it has the same meaning all the way through. But when Jesus walked this earth, how did he act? Being the one authority that is pushing this out and trying to get everybody back to God. He did not come and say, how can you be so stupid? It's right here. Nah, he didn't do that. He loved people. He showed them compassion. He tried to reach them and help them in their physical aspects. He tried to correct them if they were trying to do right. He tried to explain the word for the ones that was ready to listen. He did not try to push the meaning of the word on anyone that did not want to know it. Prime example. Go back to what he told the disciples when he sent them out. He sent them out in pairs. Go, preach the gospel, preach the word, preach the gospel. Tell them the meaning of this. If they do not accept you, fine. Shake the dust off. The judgment's on them. Keep on going to the next one. He did not say stay there and bash them, talk about them. He did not say try to belittle them. But keep on, offer it to them. Even Judas, the one that was getting ready to betray him, he offered him a way out. Yeah, he didn't take it. God pretty much knew he wasn't going to take it. But he still gave him the choice. And that's what we're here for. We're here to be that light in a dark place. Because we do know that day of judgment's coming. That's what this first part of the chapter is talking about. It's showing how he takes Noah and preserves him and rescues him. Not just him, but his whole family, and flooded everything else. Everybody else was wiped out. And then Lot and his family, except for the ones that chose to stay, and the one that turned around and looked. Which look is more than just looking in your eyes. It's looking with your heart. Turning back to the way of life that you've been rescued out of. And he saved him and his daughters. Now what they do after they've been saved is on them. It's still their choice from that point on. But right then, God rescued them out of that. And that's what he wants to do with us. That's what he wants to do with everybody that would listen, that would see and come. And this is right here is what we're picking up. If I finish the last verse that we covered last time, verse 9, it says that the Lord knows how to rescue the godly from temptation and to keep the unrighteous under punishment for the day of judgment, because we know that day is coming. And especially those who indulge in flesh in its corrupt desires and despise authority. The sexual morality, the sexual lust. They have no care about authority that's been placed over them. This kind of people you'll find that it talks all about in Romans 13. Because no authority except that has been ordained by God. And then we go on down, if we're supposed to love people, love others, then we also care about the problems and everything that they're facing. If you know that your friend has just now stopped drinking and has been battling alcoholism for years and has totally ruined his life. I mean, it took his whole entire family away from him, threw him in prison even, and he gets back out and he's trying to be sober. He's trying not to go back. Are you gonna go around him? Hey, look out here, I got a six pack. Come on. Are you being a friend then? Are you being someone that cares about him and the trials that he's going through internally? On the outside, it looks like, hey, he's trying to be a friend. But are you caring about him? Or are you just trying to get back to the lifestyle that you enjoy and bring it into him? We have some scriptures that cautions us about the way we dress even. Because just like alcohol, just like drugs, you have people all around us that fight the same kind of addictions, but with lust and the way they look, and they try to avoid their eyes. But then we're going to walk around them with skimpy out clothes and outfits and everything to try to make their minds and their eyes shift. But, well, it's up to them if they look. No. Maybe it's up to you to see if you're representing God or you're representing a fleshly desire and lustful desires. Maybe the devil is actually using you and your desires to dress like that to try to attack someone's addictions who's struggling to live closer to God. You don't know. I don't know. It happens every day, all around us. No matter what position they are. That's the reason why we should go to God, even for the way that we dress. Because you are having an effect on others around you. Are you helping to pick them up? Or are you helping to destroy them internally, spiritually? It's a question you should always ask. Because this life, we're not here just to live for us. But we're here to be a light for God. All right, let's move on a little bit further. It says, daring, self-willed. They do not tremble when they revile angelic majesties. Daring, proud, boastful, arrogant, self-willed, only about themselves. I was told when I was in school one time, say, hey, if you want to be a teacher, there's one thing to remember. Always be the smartest person in the room, even if you're not. So that means that even though I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm supposed to make them believe I do. And I'm supposed to put it in a way that, come on, you gotta be stupid to think that way. No, I'm educated. I'm supposed to be the one. No. That belittles people. It puts them down. It makes me being the sole person that knows anything about the subject matter we're talking about. And that's not the case. Subject matter when it comes to theology, when it comes to God, is only by God. Case in point, one Bible, 66 books, written over a period of 1,500 years by 40 different authors with the exact same meaning. And when Jesus came, his biggest mission was trying to get mankind to turn back from the ways that they had listened to the ones who was trying to corrupt and change his teachings, the teachings of the law, for their own benefit. To get them back to where they're supposed to be, back to God's ways and not man's way. You had teachers, scholars, ones that studied the word, but they were adding their own little bit of twists in it as they saw fit. Not really for a bad reason. They may have believed 100%, and I think that most of them did, that, hey, this right here is a sound from the way that we was brought up. But it doesn't matter how I was brought up. It does not matter how my parents believe or my grandparents. What matters is how God knows, the one that founded this earth, that created Adam and Eve, that's been right there and formed me in my mother's womb and brought me up and saved me, made a way for me. It matters what he believes, what he knows. That's his word that I have to get back to. It talks about revealing angelic majesties. Some people says that could be the church leaders, the ones that's placed as the teachers, the good teachers, because we're just not talking about this. We're talking about the descriptions of false teachers here. Or it could be about supernatural, about angelic beings and everything around us out external that we cannot see. And I've seen it both ways. But in this one position, I have to read a little bit further. Whereas angels who are greater in might and power do not bring a reviling judgment against them before the Lord. So being he added that little part afterwards, it tells me that he's referring to the ones that talks about God and about the angels and about the devil, about judgment as being nothing. They belittle the angels all around them. The angels have so much power, but yet they don't talk bad about them. They don't come down here and put them down. We find out in the Old Testament how one angel had enough power that he wiped out hundreds of trained soldiers in a single night. Destroyed them. Just one. And they're all around. Imagine what the one that created them can do with one word. The world would find out one day. For a little extra on that, this right here, and remember I said this is the last letter that Peter's writing before he's taken over to be martyred. So this right here is not just something a dying man is just rambling on about, because the same thing that Jude writes about over, there's only one chapter in Jude, but in 9 says, but Michael the archangel, when he disputed with the devil and argued about the body of Moses, did not dare pronounce against him a railing judgment, but said, the Lord rebuke you. But these men revile the things which they do not understand, and the things which they know by instinct, like unreasoning animals. By these things they are destroyed. Woe to them. They don't know about this stuff. They have not experienced it. But yet they talk and slander and put it down. It's just like you have some denominations that have never experienced speaking in tongues, so yet they'll put it down. They'll bash the ones that believe that you do. And then you have the ones that experienced it, the real speaking in tongues, that has nothing to do with them, and they don't know what in the world just happened. They're just praying to God, trying to get closer to Him, and then something comes out, and then what that comes out of their mouth is exactly what someone that was an unbeliever in the back of the church needed to hear in their own native tongue, because they're a foreigner, and they were the only ones in the church that understood it. And it was what caused them to realize, this is my last chance. Now you can never tell them there's no such thing. But then you have others that's like, hey, it was in here, let's practice this. And they don't know what in the world they're doing. They're trying to do stuff off the person. See, there's different types. But what we have to get back to is, what does God want to teach us? Don't talk or slander others. You don't know what's in their heart. You don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Only God does that. And if the angels, who is all around us, who is seeing this stuff, if they don't talk about God, they don't dare open their mouth rebelling against us, because they know that they are always in the presence of the one that created them, who will sit on that judgment. So what does that tell you and me? It says that every single thing that we say, everything we do, the way that we dress, the way we act, even in the darkest parts of your house, On the back roads where no one is. You're doing everything and saying everything before a God that's going to sit there and bring everything to light on that day of judgment. Don't let the thoughts in your mind and the darkness of your heart contaminate you to the point where it's coming out in your actions, where you are becoming that dark entity that is drawing someone else away from Him. Take it to God first. He's right there and He wants to help you. He wants to rescue. He wants to bring you back. This right here is starting to describe the false teachers. And He's doing it for a reason. He does not want us to be arrogant. He does not want us to be prideful and think it's all about us. He wants us to continue to go back to Him and give it to Him so He can mold us so we can be a light for a dark world that so desperately needs Him. Y'all, I'm not perfect. I definitely am not. I don't know a perfect person. So that means my word is not the set in stone, it's this way. I have to continue to go back to the word and saying, Lord, correct me where I'm wrong by your word. And I'm asking you to do the same. Take these scriptures that I'm giving you. Go back, study for yourself. Seek Him. Cry out to Him. Read 1 John 2:27. The anointed one that dwells within you will teach you all things. You need not that any man teach you. And you know it comes from God. God's right there to help you and to instruct you. May God bless.